I spent my savings on her rehab. The day she got clean, she dumped me for her sober coach, saying we had nothing in common anymore. I sent her an invoice for medical support on her way out. She laughed until her credit score tanked and her new guy left her. I, 32 male, just got dumped by my girlfriend of 4 years, and I'm sitting here looking at my bank account with exactly $847 left in it. 4 years ago, I had $68,000 saved up. Let that sink in. Her name doesn't matter anymore. We met when I was 28, she was 26. Normal relationship stuff at first. Dinners, movies, weekend trips. She had this energy that just pulled everyone in. 6 months in, I noticed she was drinking more than usual. A year in, it was pills. By year 2, it was both plus whatever else she could get her hands on. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm some hero who stuck around out of pure love. Part of me thought I could fix her. Part of me was just too deep in to walk away. But I did love her. That part was real. The real spiral started about 18 months ago. She lost her job, marketing coordinator at some startup. Then lost the next one. And the next one. Each time it was, they didn't understand, or the boss had it out for me. Never her fault. Never the showing up late reeking of vodka or the 3-hour lunch breaks. I was covering rent by then. Her half, my half, all of it. She moved into my place temporarily, which turned permanent real quick. I made decent money as an HVAC technician, owned my own small company with 2 employees, but watching $2,400 go out every month just for rent, while she contributed nothing, started wearing on me. But here's the thing, I kept thinking she'd get better. She'd promise to get help, cry, tell me she needed me, and I'd believe it. Every time. The breaking point came last January. I came home and found her passed out in the bathroom. Not sleeping. Passed out. There was vomit, blood from where she'd hit her head on the sink, and for about 30 seconds I genuinely thought she was dead. That was the day I told her. Rehab or we're done. No more chances. She actually agreed. Looked me in the eyes and said she was ready. Said she wanted her life back. Said she wanted US back. The facility I found was one of those nice ones, you know? The kind that actually has a good success rate instead of just being a revolving door. It costs $32,000 for the 90-day program. My insurance wouldn't cover squat for her since we weren't married, and she had let hers lapse months ago. I paid it. Drained most of what was left in my savings. Told myself it was an investment in our future. She went in February 1st. For the first month, I could only talk to her once a week on supervised calls. She sounded good though. Hopeful. Said she was doing the work, going to all the group sessions, meeting with her counselor. I drove 3 hours each way every Sunday to visit during the approved visiting hours. Month 2, she sounded even better. Clearer. Like the person I'd fallen for was coming back. She told me she loved me, that she couldn't wait to start fresh with me, that she was gonna make everything up to me. Her sober coach was assigned in week 8. This dude, let's call him Chad because of course he looked like a Chad, was part of their aftercare program. Helped clients transition back to normal life, accountability check-ins, that whole thing. She mentioned him once or twice. No big deal, right? She completed the program March 30th. I picked her up that day with flowers and everything. Took her to her favorite restaurant, the one she'd been talking about craving for 2 months. She seemed off. Distant. Kept checking her phone. We got back to the apartment around 8 p.m. I'd cleaned the whole place, bought new sheets, had sparkling cider in the fridge because obviously no alcohol. I thought we were going to talk about next steps. Maybe she'd thank me, maybe we'd just watch a movie and enjoy being together. Instead, she sat me down and said, "We need to talk." I knew. You know how you just know? I've been doing a lot of self-reflection in there, she started. And I've realized that we're just in different places now. I'm sober, I'm growing, I'm becoming who I'm meant to be. And you're still the same person you were. I just stared at her. I need to surround myself with people who understand my journey, people who are on the same wavelength. You've never struggled with addiction, so you can't really get it. I paid $32,000 for you to get clean, I said. My voice sounded far away. She actually had the nerve to look annoyed. And I appreciate that, but this is about my growth. I can't be held back by guilt or obligation. My therapist says that's toxic. Your therapist or your sober coach? Her face gave it away before her mouth could lie. He gets it, she said quietly. We connected on a deeper level. He's been where I am. Turns out they'd been texting for 3 weeks. Nothing physical, she swore, but she was moving in with him. He had a place about 40 minutes away. She'd already packed her stuff, what little she had, during the 1 hour I'd left her alone to pick up dinner. I asked her when she was planning to tell me. She said, "I'm telling you now." Before she left, I handed her an envelope. She looked confused. "What's this?" "Invoice," I said, "for medical support services rendered. $32,000 for rehabilitation program, plus $28,000 for 18 months of living expenses, emotional support, and crisis intervention services. Total, $60,000. Payment plans available." She literally laughed, like threw her head back and laughed. "You can't be serious, that's insane. You can't just invoice someone for being in a relationship." "Read the fine print," I said. I'd spent the 3 hours she was packing with my buddy who's a paralegal. "You signed a financial responsibility agreement when you moved in, agreeing to split costs. You haven't paid rent in 18 months. The rehab money was a loan, verbal agreement with witnesses. My sister had been there when we discussed it. And you're now in breach of that agreement." Her laugh died. "This won't hold up anywhere." "Maybe not all of it, but some of it will. And even if it doesn't, I'm still filing. Have fun explaining to your new boyfriend why you've got a legal claim following you around." She called me a manipulative asshole and left. Didn't even take the invoice with her. Just left it on the counter. That was April 1st. Yeah, April Fool's Day. Universe has a sense of humor. I didn't hear anything for a week. Then my phone started going off. Update 1. 3 weeks later. So it's been 3 weeks since the breakup, and holy hell, things have escalated. First off, I actually went through with filing the claim. Took the invoice, all the receipts I'd kept, and thank God I keep receipts for everything, bank statements showing the rent payments I'd made solo, and the text messages where she'd promised to pay me back when she got on her feet. To a lawyer. Cost me $400 for a consultation and to have him draft an actual demand letter. My lawyer said I had a decent shot at recouping at least the rent money, maybe 30 to 40% of the rehab costs, if I could prove it was discussed as a loan. Not perfect, but better than nothing. The demand letter went out April 10th. Certified mail, she had to sign for it. That's when her true colors really came out. April 12th, my phone started blowing up. Not from her, from her mom. 53 texts in 2 hours. I counted. The mom was going off. How dare I try to profit from her daughter's recovery? How dare I put a price on love? How dare I kick her while she's trying to build a new life? I was a narcissist, a financial abuser, a predator who took advantage of her daughter's vulnerable state. I replied once, I paid for her to get clean. She dumped me the day she got out for another guy. I'm recouping my losses. That's it. She sent me a voice memo, 8 minutes long, screaming about what a horrible person I was, how her daughter deserved better, how I was trying to ruin her fresh start. The irony of calling me horrible while defending her daughter abandoning me after I spent my savings on her wasn't lost on me. I blocked the mom. Should have done it sooner. Then my ex started texting. Not apologetic texts, threatening ones. "You're going to drop this, or you'll regret it." My coach knows lawyers. You don't want to go down this road. This is harassment, and I can get a restraining order. I didn't respond. My lawyer said not to engage, so I didn't. April 15th, tax day, another fun date. I got a call from my biggest client, commercial property management company that I'd been doing HVAC work for over 3 years. They wanted to discuss some concerns. Turns out my ex had called them, told them I was financially unstable and going through a mental health crisis, and they might want to reconsider using my services. She didn't have their number before, which meant she'd gone through my office files. During one of the times she'd stopped by to grab something she'd forgotten. My client was cool about it. Asked me what was going on. I gave him the Cliff Notes version. He said, "Sounds like you dodged a bullet." And that was that. But the fact that she'd tried to mess with my livelihood, that was a new low. I documented it. Screenshot of her number in my call log, the timeline, everything. Sent it to my lawyer. He added it to the file. April 18th, I found out through a mutual friend that she and the sober coach were posting all over social media about their beautiful new beginning and finding real love in recovery. There was even a photo of them at some recovery event, his arm around her, both of them smiling like they just won the lottery. The mutual friend sent me the photos. I didn't ask for them, but I looked. Not gonna lie, it stung. Not because I wanted her back, but because I'd given up so much, and this was what I got for it. But then, I noticed something in one of the photos. They were at a restaurant, a nice one, and she was wearing new clothes, stuff I'd never seen before, designer purse on the table. Meanwhile, I'd been eating ramen and eggs to rebuild my savings. April 22nd, her mom texted from a different number. Somehow got through before I could block it. You need to stop this legal nonsense. She doesn't have the money to pay you. You're gonna make her relapse. That one actually made me laugh. I'm gonna make her relapse? By asking for my money back after she ditched me? I blocked that number too. April 25th, the real fun started. I got a notice that my ex was disputing the loan claim. She'd hired a lawyer, wonder where she got the money for that, and was arguing that the rehab payment was a gift given freely within the context of a romantic relationship and that she had no legal obligation to repay it. My lawyer wasn't surprised, said it was expected. We had our response ready. But here's where it gets interesting. My paralegal buddy did some digging, totally legal public record stuff, and found out that the sober coach, he'd been fired from 2 previous facilities for boundary violations with clients. Nothing criminal charged, but enough of a pattern that he couldn't work at legit places anymore. He was running his own private coaching practice now. No certifications, no licenses, just a website and a convincing story. I didn't do anything with that info yet, but I kept it in my back pocket. May 1st, exactly 1 month after she left, I got served with papers. She was filing a restraining order against me for financial harassment and stalking. Her evidence? The demand letter and the lawsuit. That was it. No actual stalking, no contact outside of legal channels, nothing. Just me trying to get my money back through proper legal means. My lawyer said it was an intimidation tactic and would get thrown out. He was right. Hearing was May 8th. Judge took one look at the facts and dismissed it. Told her that legal proceedings don't constitute harassment. She was there with the coach. He stood up and tried to argue with the judge. The judge shut him down real quick and threatened him with contempt. Watching that felt better than it should have. After the hearing, she tried to approach me in the hallway. The coach grabbed her arm and pulled her back, whispered something in her ear. She looked at me with this mix of anger and something else. Maybe regret? Hard to tell. I kept walking. May 10th, my lawyer called with news. We'd done a credit check on her as part of the lawsuit discovery process. Her credit score had tanked. She'd opened 3 credit cards in the last month, probably to pay for the lawyer and her new lifestyle, and was already maxing them out. One of the cards was in default. She'd missed the first payment. My lawsuit was now officially on record with the court, which meant it was showing up on her credit report as a legal claim against her. Even if I didn't win, it was sitting there, dragging her score down. I won't lie, that felt like a small victory. Update 2. 2 months later. It's been almost 3 months total now since she walked out, and if I told you how this has all played out, you'd think I was making it up. But I've got receipts for all of it. So last update, things were heating up legally. The restraining order got tossed, her credit was tanking, and she'd hired a lawyer to fight my claim. Here's what happened next. Mid-May, things went quiet for about a week. No texts from burner numbers, no contact, nothing. I should have known it was the calm before the storm. May 20th, I got a call from my insurance company. Someone had filed a claim saying I'd caused property damage to an apartment. Not my apartment, her new apartment with the coach. They said I'd broken in and destroyed personal belongings. I was at a job site 2 hours away when this supposedly happened. Had 3 witnesses, including my client, who could confirm I was there from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I gave the insurance company all the info, they investigated, and the claim was flagged as fraudulent within 2 days. But it gets better. When the insurance investigator pushed back and asked for evidence, my ex apparently said she'd made a mistake about the date. Then changed her story to say it was emotional damage, not physical. The whole thing fell apart. The investigator straight up told me this was one of the most blatant, false claims he'd seen, and asked if I wanted to pursue charges. I said I'd think about it. Added it to the pile of evidence my lawyer was building. May 28th, the coach reached out. Not through a lawyer, directly to my phone. No idea how he got my number since I'd changed it after blocking the mom. His message: "Hey man, I think we got off on the wrong foot. Let's talk this out like adults. She's really stressed about this lawsuit and it's affecting her recovery. You seem like a good guy. I'm sure we can work something out." I showed my lawyer. He laughed and said, "They're getting desperate. Don't respond." I didn't. June 3rd, I got served with another lawsuit. This time, she was suing me for emotional distress and defamation of character. Her claim was that by filing the lawsuit, I was publicly damaging her reputation in the recovery community and causing her severe emotional harm that threatened her sobriety. The dollar amount she wanted? $75,000. My lawyer called it a SLAP suit, strategic lawsuit against public participation. Basically a BS lawsuit designed to drain my resources and get me to drop my claim. Two can play that game. We filed a motion to dismiss and a countersuit for legal fees and frivolous litigation. My lawyer was pissed on my behalf, which, honestly, felt good. It's nice when someone else is angry for you. While all this legal stuff was brewing, I heard through the mutual friend grapevine that things weren't going great in Paradise. The coach's private practice? Turns out he was running it out of his apartment and had maybe 4 clients total. Not exactly a thriving business. My ex had apparently thought he was more successful than he was. She'd been job hunting but couldn't land anything. Between her spotty work history and the lawsuit showing up on background checks, she was getting rejected left and right. The few interviews she did get, she'd mention wrongful legal action being taken against her, and that ended the conversation real quick. June 15th, her credit cards started getting declined. The mutual friend saw it happen at a coffee shop. She tried to pay, card declined, tried another one, also declined. She'd hit her limits and couldn't make the minimum payments. Her credit score was now in the low 500s. My lawsuit, the defaulted cards, the fraudulent insurance claim, all of it was stacking up on her credit report like a house of cards built out of terrible decisions. June 20th, I got a call from my lawyer with interesting news. Remember how I mentioned the coach got fired from 2 facilities? Turns out there was a third incident we didn't know about. A former client of his had filed a complaint with the state licensing board for addiction counselors. He'd never actually been licensed. He'd been working under someone else's supervision and got fired before he could get his own credentials. Everything he was doing now, the coaching, the counseling, all of it, was technically illegal. My lawyer asked if I wanted him to forward this info to the state board. I said absolutely. One anonymous tip later, the coach was under investigation. June 25th, the coach called me again. This time, he wasn't friendly. "You need to back off, man. This is getting out of hand. She's not doing well and you're making it worse." "She dumped me the day she got out of rehab that I paid for," I said. "I'm just trying to get my money back." "You're being vindictive. This isn't about the money. You're trying to punish her." "If I wanted to punish her, I'd do a lot more than file a civil suit. I want my $60,000 back. That's it." "She doesn't have it. Then she shouldn't have accepted it in the first place." He hung up on me. July 1st, her SLAP suit got dismissed. The judge said her claims were baseless and awarded me $8,500 in legal fees. She had 30 days to pay. Spoiler, she didn't pay. July 8th, things started falling apart on their end. The mutual friend told me the coach and my ex were fighting constantly. Money was tight, she wasn't working, he wasn't making much, and now they had legal fees piling up, plus the $8,500 judgment against her. The state board investigation was moving forward. He'd been ordered to cease all coaching activities until the investigation concluded, so his income dropped to basically zero. July 12th, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. "Please drop the lawsuit. I'm sorry. I'll pay you back, but I need time. Please." It was her. New number. I forwarded it to my lawyer. He replied to her with a formal settlement offer. $50,000 paid over 5 years, starting with $5,000 within 30 days, or we proceed to trial and I pursue the full amount plus legal fees. She asked for a week to think about it. July 18th, the mutual friend dropped a bombshell. The coach had kicked my ex out, told her she was too much drama and he couldn't risk his career, what was left of it, being associated with her anymore. The guy who'd been posting about beautiful new beginnings and finding real love had dumped her the second things got hard. Karma's a trip, isn't it? She moved in with her mom. The same mom who'd sent me 8-minute screaming voice memos about what a terrible person I was. July 20th, she accepted the settlement offer. Her lawyer sent over the agreement. $50,000 over 5 years, 6% interest, monthly payments of $900. If she missed 2 consecutive payments, the full amount became due immediately. I signed it. So did she. Final update. 4 months later. It's been about 4 months since the settlement was signed, and I figured I'd give you all a final update since so many people have been messaging me asking what happened. The first payment was due August 18th. It was late. Came through August 23rd with no explanation. I documented it, but let it slide since the agreement said 2 consecutive missed payments would trigger the full balance. September's payment was on time. October's was 3 days late. November's was on time again. She's been keeping up with it barely. My lawyer set it up so the payments go into a separate account automatically, so I don't have to think about it unless she misses one. As for me, I'm doing okay. Not great, not terrible, just okay. My savings are slowly rebuilding. I picked up 2 new commercial contracts in August and business has been steady. I'm not where I was before all this, but I'm not in the hole anymore either. Currently sitting at about $9,000 saved up. It's something. I haven't dated anyone. Not because I'm still hung up on her, I'm not, but because the whole thing left me kind of numb to the idea of relationships. My sister keeps trying to set me up with people, and I keep making excuses. Maybe eventually. I heard through the mutual friend that my ex is working at a call center now. Not glamorous, but it's income. The mom apparently kicked her out in September after they had a huge blowout about the settlement payments, so she's renting a room in someone's house now. The sober coach? Last I heard, the state board revoked his ability to practice. He moved to another state. No idea if he's still trying to run his coaching business somewhere else, or if he finally gave up. I saw my ex once in October. Total accident. We were at the same grocery store. She was in the cereal aisle. I was grabbing milk. We made eye contact. She looked away first. I kept walking. Didn't say anything. Neither did she. Part of me wanted to feel something, anger, satisfaction, something, but I just felt tired. Tired of the whole situation. Tired of being reminded of it. The hardest part hasn't been the money or the betrayal or even the legal stuff. It's been the realization that I spent 4 years of my life on someone who was never going to appreciate it. That I drained my savings trying to save someone who didn't want to be saved, at least not by me. My therapist, I started seeing one in June, says I need to stop thinking of it as wasted time and start thinking of it as a learning experience. I'm trying. Some days are easier than others. Do I regret filing the lawsuit? No. I needed to do something. I couldn't just let her walk away with my money and my dignity. Even if I never see most of that $50,000, at least I didn't roll over. Do I think she learned anything from this? Honestly? Probably not. People like her don't connect their actions to consequences. Everything that happened to her, the credit damage, the coach leaving, losing jobs, she probably blames all of that on me. I'm the villain in her story. I've made peace with that. Someone asked me in the messages if I still love her. That's a complicated question. I loved who I thought she was. I loved the person she could have been, but the person she actually is. No. I don't love that person. I don't even think I like that person. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I came out of this victorious. I didn't. I lost money, time, and a chunk of my ability to trust people. She's making payments, yeah. But even if she pays every cent over the next 5 years, I'm still out the interest I could have earned on that money, plus the lawyer fees, plus the emotional toll. But I'm not destroyed either. I'm still here, still running my business, still paying my bills, still waking up every day and getting through it. My sister told me last week that she's proud of me for standing up for myself. That hit different. Nobody had said that to me through this whole thing. Everyone was either telling me to let it go or calling me vindictive. Hearing someone say they were proud of me for not being a doormat, I needed that. I don't know what the moral of this story is. Don't date addicts. Don't drain your savings for someone else. Don't expect gratitude from people who can't even be grateful to themselves. All of the above. What I do know is this: I'm done being the person who sets himself on fire to keep someone else warm. That version of me is gone. And honestly, good riddance. If my ex reads this somehow, which I doubt because she'd have to care enough to look, I hope she's actually sober. I hope she's actually doing the work. Not for me, but because addiction is hell and nobody deserves that. But I also hope she thinks about what she did every time she makes that $900 payment. I hope she remembers that actions have consequences. And I hope the next person she meets is smart enough to set better boundaries than I did. As for me, I'm going to keep rebuilding, keep working, keep going to therapy, keep putting one foot in front of the other. Some days that feels like enough, some days it doesn't, but it's what I've got and I'm working with it. That's the update. That's where I'm at. Not a fairy tale ending, not a revenge fantasy, just reality. And honestly, after everything, reality is enough.